Alright guys, what is going on? Oink here, and today we are having the seasonal events from the 20th of December. This time we've got New Year's Holiday Challenge, which is a special seasonal event, which is comprised of 4 events this time, each one a different kind of event. So the first one is a 600 performance points GT500 on Suzuka, 10 laps for that one. You got a set list of cars there to choose from in the entry requirements, which is basically any of the Super GT cars from Gran Turismo, both premium and standard. Second track is a 600 performance points tuned cars. So this one is on Nürburgring. You got 3 laps, and it can be any normal cars. Obviously, you can tune them, or any from the tuned cars category. Third one, we've got 700 performance points racing cars. So again, this is restricted to any category racing car. So Le Mans car, for example, is your obvious choice there. And finally, we've got a time trial using the new DLC Corvette C7 test prototype. And this one's again on the Nürburgring, 1 lap time trial. And we've got an interesting prize setup. So it's slightly different to normal. For getting gold in all 4 events, you get a level 23 class car ticket, so that'll be a random level 23 car, which is really good. I mean, most of the best cars are up at level 23, and for each race you get 1 car restoration ticket and 1 body rigidity restoration ticket, as well as a random paint color. And it seemed like the paint colors they were giving you were like high quality ones, you know, like matte finishes or that sort of thing. Additionally, for finishing gold in just the time trial, you'll get the gift car ticket 1000, which is that random car ticket of seemingly any car in the game. So we'll start off with the GT500. Of course, the car I've taken for this one is Castrol Tom's Supra 1997. This, of course, is a premium car, and I'll go into the settings briefly here, and I'll actually show each car separately for each event. Obviously, it's a little bit different to normal, where we just use 1 car. In terms of upgrades, I've taken all the customizations along with a mid-range turbo. Power limiter is set at 100%, and also weight is at 0, obviously no additional weight. And the aerodynamics have got the rear set up to 48. In the suspension, I've dropped the ride height a little lower on the front than the back, increased the spring rate a little bit on the back. Dampers maybe slightly softened, and also I think I increased the roll bars at the back with a little bit of inward camber on the front. So they've added some weather effects to most of these races, which is nice to see because they haven't really been using that much in the seasonal events. However, this first one I found relatively easy. First couple of laps there is no rain, so this is when you're going to be getting most of your laps. In terms of settings, I use all of the driving aids turned off except from ABS set at 1, and in terms of tyres, I'm using the Racing Soft tyres. Now this is 10 laps, and there is tyre wear as well as penalties for shortcutting and things like that. So don't drive too aggressively, try not to slide the car too much, as it will just wear your tyres down. But you can see after 5 laps I'm already in first place and the rain hasn't begun yet. So with those soft tyres you really just absolutely race through the opponent, and it would be an easy finish if it weren't for the rain to start at about 10 minutes or so. Fortunately on this one I actually found that the rain wasn't that heavy. You know, even lap 8, lap 9 it was only up to 12%. Even with the comforts, you know, just the soft tyres there, sorry, not comforts, I should say Racing Soft, it really wasn't a problem, and by lap 10 the rain had mostly gone. So really just stick with the Racing Soft tyres on that one, and it shouldn't have any challenge at all for that. Second race then is the 600 performance points tuning car. I like to do a bit of role playing generally with these and take, you know, an actual tuning car as opposed to just any generic car. So I've gone with the HKS CT 230R, which is actually an incredibly good car for anyone who hasn't used this one, and it has basically a custom tune anyway. Aerodynamics, I just added 1 to the back. I think the camber angle doesn't go any lower than 3, so you can see this is really set up for being a tuned car. And I think I dropped the ride height very slightly and might have increased the spring rate just a bit on the back. Again, this one we are going same settings, and also we're going Racing Soft tyres again. This is 3 laps of the Nürburgring, and we start with roughly 25% water already on the track at the beginning of the race. Now, I was kind of banking on the fact that it wasn't going to carry on raining and that the track would dry off throughout the laps, and actually got lucky with this one. This was the first time I did it, and I managed to get the goal on the first try. if it had carried on raining, I probably would have been in the wrong tyres, and I probably would have had to switch to one of the rain tyres. However, I did actually guess right, and there was it stopped raining pretty early on. You can see end of lap 1, it's already sunny again, with the water levels on the track down to about 14%, making, general grip extremely good. However, it does start to drizzle again, sort of lap 2, and the rain heads back towards what it started at about 25%, but it doesn't get any more than 25%, and the racing soft tyres really do handle absolutely fine at about 20%. It gets a little bit tougher to handle as the tyres themselves wear down by about lap 3, so maybe just take it a bit slower, but the car is so fast, and with the racing softs you get so much speed early on that you should be able to have no problem overtaking everyone and finishing in first there, as you can see. Third track in then, the 700 performance points racing cars on Spa-Francorchamps, which is 10 laps. I've gone again with a premium car like I usually do, the Peugeot 908, and I'm always a little bit worried about tuning any of these super high performance cars, so I've left the settings just as the same. Again, in terms of driving aids, ABS set to 1, everything else off, and I made the mistake of using the intermediate rain tyres. Again, we start with about 20% rain on the track, or 25%, and it is drizzling slightly, I believe, or maybe not raining just at the start, and so it kind of stays at around 25 to 30% for the first couple laps, but you can see it's already started raining, and for some reason I decided to carry on with this. I don't really know why. I should have restarted and gone with the rain tyres, because actually it will rain a lot in this. It gets up to about 60, 70%, I think even maybe 80% rain on the track, and you really need rain tyres there. You can see lap 3, it's already at 40%, and the intermediate tyres just have absolutely no grip whatsoever. I ended up spinning out multiple times on this and having to take corners really slow. The fortunate thing is the AI basically suck at driving in wet weather, so they go even slower somehow. As I said, I span out once or twice and still got gold on this one, so really they go so slow that you shouldn't have a problem, but I would recommend starting in the racing rain tyres, despite the fact that you may not need them for the first couple laps. But as you can see, it does get really difficult to handle in those intermediates, which just can't quite cope on the super wet track there. You can see I catch up with our friend in first here on lap 5, end of lap 5, with the rain coming up to about 65-70%, and really I'm just struggling for grip and speed. But like I said, they are so slow that it's not really a problem. However, if you haven't got gold on this, I would recommend just starting out on the rain tyres. Try and not go too fast so you don't wear them out when it's a bit drier, and then as it gets wetter throughout the race, you should just find yourself with no problems at all. These cars are difficult to control in the rain though. Just be real careful on the accelerator, as you don't want to just put them into a spin and get them sliding all over the place. Just try and keep it nice and basically slow and steady wins the race here. You don't need to go fast at all for this one, and just try and keep the car in a straight line, on the track, and you should be absolutely fine. Now for this last event, we've actually got no tuning options, obviously, because you can't tune this car. And it's a time trial with the gold time set at 7 minutes 50. I've already had a couple of people messaging me on PSN whilst I was doing this, saying that they were struggling with this particular one. So I'm just going to show you a bit of gameplay from this. There's not much I can say with settings. Obviously, driving aids again, everything turned off, ABS set at 1. You can't choose the tyres. I don't know what tyres they're giving you, but they are absolutely horrendous. This car takes like a year just to slow down and get into like second gear. That corner there, and another one I'll show coming up in a minute, I found just brake really early. It's ridiculous how early you have to brake to manage to get around some of these corners, which you would really expect the car to be able to make. I found it came in understeering a lot, like it just somehow doesn't get around them, and you just smash into the wall. And because this is a time trial, that means it's not going to be a valid lap, and you're going to have to restart or go all the way around and start again from the top. This is the bridge I was talking about. Look how early you have to brake there, get into third or second maybe, turn in ridiculously early, and even then had so much understeer, nearly came into the barrier, just about kept it in. Whilst this car does have some understeer at certain sections of the lap, similarly if you're coming down a little hill, or the track flattens out and you've got too much gas, you might find yourself actually spinning the car a little bit with a bit of oversteer. So the handling on this car is a little tricky to get, again with the tyres that seem to be like comfort soft or sports hard or something really not that nice. It's not the easiest to control, but it's just about practice really. You can see I get the gold with 742 on the timer, which actually came in at like 800th on the global leaderboards, which I was pretty proud of given that it was my first completed run of that one. So I hope you guys have found this video helpful, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.